Pastor John Kuski here from St. Matthew with another word for the week. Have you ever played the game of Trouble? It's one of those games where you shake a die, move your player pieces around the board. The only thing is if your opponent lands on the same space, they send you back and you got to start all over again, which is kind of fun and frustrating as part of the game. Unless you have a troublemaker. A troublemaker, at least from my definition, would be the person who is stalking you just for the sake of sending you back. They don't really care about winning the game. They just want to make it difficult for you. And then that kind of thing can turn something that's fun and frustrating into something that can get kind of unfriendly. When you think about it, there wasn't a friendlier, more compassionate and caring person than Jesus. He'd spend the whole day teaching people, healing them, making sure that they took away some hope when they left. And yet there were these people that had it out for him. In fact, some of his closest family and friends, his family tried to take him away from what he was doing. Judas, of course, betrayed him. And Jesus actually warned us that it would be the same way for his followers, you and me. Listen to what he says in Luke chapter 12. Do you think that I came to bring peace on the earth? No, I tell you, but rather division. Yes, from now on there will be 5 divided in one household, 3 against 2, 2 against 3. You know, that's the problem. As people really get to know Jesus, he exposes their hypocrisy. He gets them to see certain sins that they don't want to give up, that they can't give up, but they have to if they're going to be with him. And so they become hostile towards him and towards his followers. There was a woman like that in one of the churches that I served. She was incredibly hardworking and caring for her family. She gave so much of herself to her church family, but her husband resented her for that. In fact, he became very hostile towards her, and so she finally ended up having to make a choice, and she chose him over her Lord, and ended up going away from her Lord and taking the kids. You know, sometimes that's the thing that can happen to us as well, of people really getting on the wrong side of Jesus, being intimidated, being fearful of who he is and his followers. And so Jesus warns us here in order to, I suppose, prepare us better for times like that. And for us to know that he can relate to what it's like to have that pain of having people who are so dear to us turn against us for the wrong reasons. And you know what he does with that? He's the great reconciler. He's the one who gave his all, gave his life in order to turn us around from being against him to being with him. And it's that same giving and forgiving all that's at work in us now because of Jesus that helps turn other people around who might be against us. Yeah, Jesus, the one that people turn against, is really the only one that can turn them around from being enemies of him and us to being our friends. Blessings and hearing more about that. Hopefully you can tune in this weekend, being there in person, 5:30 on Saturday night, 9 a.m. either in person or live streaming on Sunday morning. God bless.